Thank you for Patreon now for donating to the Patreon.
Hey guys, it's Van Diazzo back into the Card Fight Vanguard deck profile. So you guys enjoyed them, like, subscribe, and 1 star, shall we? This time we are covering Oracle Think Tank, the Battle Sister line. Battle Sisters haven't gotten support from V collection sets in a while, but Battle Sisters, however, are, in my opinion, definitely one of my favorite, if not my favorite, actual Oracle Think Tank deck outside of Witches. But the thing about Battle Sisters is we just recently got the reverse Formage. I'm not going to say I think the reverse Formage is bad. I'm just going to say I think it's not an upgrade. But let's just see where that gets us. And let's read in the deck, because the deck's actually pretty interesting. So, first up we have our starter in Whiteness Rabbit. Grade 0 boost, 10k shield, 6k base, auto and rotopod, draw a card, then if your opponent's vanguards are grade 1 or greater, you do a quick shield ticket to your hand. Standard starter, then specified, you get that draw, you get that quick shield. Originally, I ran Solar Maiden, I believe her name was Imazawa or something along those lines, as my starter for Battle Sisters, but then as I was transferring the deck into Tabletop and I realized I didn't have her, I didn't feel like going through the work of getting her as my starter, so I changed it to Whiteness Rabbit, because I did have Whiteness Rabbit, and he has the moon in a very prominent picture in the background, and we all know how biased I am towards the moon. Or on Whiteness Rabbit is just a good starter. It can be whatever starter you want as long as it has the draw quick shield skill. So pick whatever you like. Trigger lineup, however, we run 4 draw triggers in Battle Sister Tiramisu. Grade 0 boost, 5k shield, 5k power, standard draw, nothing special about it. If you've all seen my previous Battle Sister V deck, we all know what the trigger lineup is going to be. If you haven't, here it is. 4 draws, 8 crits in Psychic Bird and Ginger, and 4 regular heals in Battle Sister Brioche. Okay, your first thought may be wondering, not even why I don't run the Heal Guardian, because, well, real quickly, if you don't know why I don't run the Heal Guardian, they're just much of my playstyle, and I just don't like them. If you want more in-depth reason, go watch the Locks video from a few months ago, and you'll get a more in-depth reason of it. But the reason why my trigger lineup is like this, and why I don't run Sentinels, is here's why. When I first made Formage, back when it was first released, I forgot to put the PG in the deck. Because I was too focused on, because I read her skill and I was trying to make every Battle Sister possible, and I had Ginger, obviously, and I had Tiramisu, I did not think to add a Sentinel when I first built that deck. Then when I realized it, I was like, oh my god, I have to put in the Sentinel, but I kept not doing it, and that is partially because I was lazy, but also because I was genuinely going off like good vibes of having not a Sentinel. Like, I was a lot less stressed about what I should keep in hand. I could literally freely call anything and not worry about the repercussions of it at all whatsoever. And not to mention that I just get more Battle Sisters, which I could do anyways as long as I turn this into a crit Sentinel. I don't know. All around, like, not running a Sentinel at all in this deck has been very liberating to me. Not running Sentinels at all in any deck has been very liberating to me. Some decks I will pull that back from. Some decks I will keep the Sentinels in, but otherwise I will sometimes just remove Sentinels, because playing with Sentinels has somehow been more of a burden to me than an actual benefit, believe it or not. I can name several games where that has occurred, and all of them are very funny of how they've turned out. So yeah, that's why this trigger line doesn't run Sentinels. If you want to run Sentinels, please just run the crit Sentinel over Psychic Bird, because the draw does help with the Battle Sister naming just in case, and so does the crit. So I do suggest running the crit Sentinel, because you don't need draw PGs, so if you choose to run Sentinels. If you choose to be me and you like the adrenaline that it gives you, go for the, go for the Sentinel. If you want the crit Sentinel, run the crit Sentinel. Then move on to grade 1s. 4 copies of Battle Sister Penate. Grade 1 boost, 10k shield, 8k base. After rear, put it to soul, look at top 2, put a card from among them to top, put the other on bottom, and at the end of turn, the next power your trigger gets is plus 10. So basically, the trigger that you will see next is a plus 20 trigger instead of a plus 10, or if it was a plus 5 trigger, it becomes a plus 15. All around, just basically makes your trigger stronger. The reason I run her isn't to sack more trigger power, because sacking trigger power has never been useful to me. The reason I run her is to get her to soul, because there are occasions where I will run out of soul. It's very rare that occurs, but just in case, you know, you run it just to make sure you don't run out of soul, but also to stack the top 2 so I can guarantee a trigger. Now, I'm not saying the 10k isn't good. No, it's a free fucking 10k. You get a soul charge because she sends herself to soul. You get to stack the top card, which could be a trigger, and not to mention, if it is a trigger, or whatever your next trigger is that turn, it's at least becoming a 20k booster trigger. So who doesn't want Panate? All around, it's a really good grade 1. Definitely helps from death stacking, definitely helps for power. All around, really amazing 4 of. Then we run 4 copies of Battle Sister Torija. I still don't know how to say that name. Grade 1 boost, 10k shield, 8k base. Can't say though that she hasn't been my favorite this whole time, because she's genuinely one of my favorite Battle Sisters. Auto van or rear when she is placed. Reveal the top card of your deck, and if it is a Battle Sister, add it to hand. You do not have to add it. You may. It is not mandatory. And then this ability may only be used, it's a name once per turn, and return it to if not added. I'm starting to question now during my match with Battle Sisters if I accidentally used her twice in a turn. Can't remember. But that's really good. It's just a free on place, and you can stack the top card. If it's a Battle Sister, cool. You don't have to add it to hand, but you can do it if you want to. And you can keep it on top if it's not. Which is really good for Ginger, because Ginger would be an automatic add if it wasn't a May. So that's good. And then auto rear once per turn. When you look at your deck by effects, you may have this unit get +5 for the turn. Okay? I like how it's a May, so you still don't have to do it, but it activates from look, reveal, search effects, +5k regardless of the number of cards looked. So granted, it's only going to be a 13k base, but that's still pretty good. Just a free plus for what the deck does best. So all around, amazing grade 1. I love it. Make sure it's on the field at the start of the game, and it will be the deadliest thing on your field. So 4 of Torjus. Then 4 copies of Battle Sister Coca, grade 1 boost, 10k shield, 8k base. Auto and written over, you may call this card to rear guard from soul to rear. Okay? Pretty good skill, not gonna lie. Really nice Vanguard ability. And act rear, rest this unit, look at the top card, put the top card, put it back on the top, or put it at the bottom. If you put on the bottom, one of your units gets +3 for the turn. Okay, really nice that it can +3, especially when you're on the reverse and you can lock her, and then you're not really losing anything. In fact, you're gaining numbers because you're getting 3k more. My thing with this though is I never remember to use that second skill, because while that is good because it doesn't cost Crown Boss, it doesn't cost Soul Blast, you are not losing your rear guard for doing it. My thing is, I just genuinely don't remember it. It's like the least memorable skill to me, especially because half the time I'm not even on Fromage Reverse, and the only time worth using it, in my opinion, is when you're on Fromage Reverse. So, 4 of Coca, a really good grade 1 to have because it's just a free stack and possible +3, and you can really combo well with Fromage Reverse. Apparently people don't like it because, or like they're not don't like it, but like they're depressed that we don't have a Chocolat now, because Chocolat was the PG that you can combo with Coca. Except my thing is, I didn't like either. Well, I like Chocolat. I never liked Coca. So I'm kind of disappointed that we got Coca, but I'll take it. I have really no choice, but I will take it. It's a good grade 1, 4 of. Then we move on to grade 2s. 2 copies of Battle Sister Tort. I don't know why I still run her. Like, part of me just refuses to get rid of her, and then part of me really wants to get rid of her. So she's a grade 2 with intercept, 5k shield, 8k base. Continuous Vander rear. If you have 10 or more hand cards during turn, it's a 10k +1 crit unit. So it's an 18 double critical face. Now, the reason why I know I still run her is because, while yes, with the way I play Battle Sisters, I'm not getting 10 hand cards on first grade 3 turn unless every damage check this game has been a draw trigger. But it's good because by my second grade 3 turn, I typically have 10 hand cards, or if I don't, I have 8 before my drive check, and my drive check will definitely hit me to 10. And then she becomes at least an 18 double critical, and more likely than not, I'm a 28 double critical, except the one game where I had 5 normal units all back to back, and then my next 2 cards were both normal units as well. So either way, Tort's really good because she genuinely does put pressure at the end game, especially if I know there's a crit coming, because I can put it on another rear guard, and if I have 10 or more hand cards, which is really easy to hit in this deck, she's at least an 18 double critical. Actually, with Fromage, she's a 23 double critical. So now both sides are at least 23 or 24 double criticals, and if my opponents have 4 damage, well, they're obviously going to PG both, so, and they have to block the Vanguard. So all around, Tort's really good. She's not a card I want to consistently see because of how bad she will be if you don't have 10 hand cards, but she's still a good card you want to see for a finishing move, so 2 of Tort. Then run 3 copies of Battle Sister Macaron. Grade 2 intercept, 5k shield, 9k base, auto rear once per turn. When you look at your deck by an effect during your turn, you may have this and you get +10 for the turn. Activates from look, reveal, search effects, +10 regardless of the numbers looked. Okay, so she's a free 19. That's why you run her. She's just a free 19. No Soul Blast, no Counter Blast, no discard, no shove her to soul, no shoving someone else to soul. Literally no cost. Just use this, or this, or this, or one of your grade 3s, and it's an immediate 19k. That's why you run it. I can't tell you why you shouldn't run this. I can't tell you why you should run this outside of that, so 3 of. Then I run 4 copies of literally my favorite grade 2 in terms of art. I don't know why. Maybe it's the flamethrower that I think just looks cool on it. Battle Sister Trifle. Grade 2 intercept, 5k shield, 9k base. Auto van or rear when placed from hand. Counter Boss 1, look at top 3. Call up to 1 Battle Sister in his card name from among them to rear and put the rest on top in any order. Why is it every time I use this skill, there's a Fromage among them? Or, well, not a Fromage, sorry. Yeah, no, every time I use a skill, it's what gets me out of grade lock. Because every time I have played Battle Sisters, or most of the time I have played Battle Sisters, I have been grade locked at grade 3 right before I hit grade 3. Because my grade 2 turn somehow fixes it. And every time it's because I'm on Trifle and the top 3 reveals a grade 3 that I stack back to top with this skill. I don't know what Trifle does, I don't know what luck I have with her, but I don't care. She is my godsend. I have every reason to run her at 4 for this. And then auto rear, and when it attacks, if you looked at your deck by your card's ability this turn until end of battle, it gets +5. Then you may soul blast one grade 3, and your opponent can all call sounders from their hand to guard circle. I remember that I had set that up in the sense to go swing at my opponent's Vanguard, and then I forgot, wait, it's my first grade 3 turn. I don't have grade 3s in Soul, even though I double stacked all my triggers on it, and I kind of regret that decision almost immediately. But then I had won the game because they were 5k short of doing it, or not 5k, yeah, no, they were 5k, and I was like, wow, if I didn't put both those triggers on it, I would have actually lost, or when I wouldn't have lost, but I wouldn't have won that turn. So all around, Trifle is an amazing grade 2, definitely helps, makes a board, has literally ungrade locked me almost every time I played Battle Sisters, and all around, can sound restrict, and is just a good card, 4 of. Then we have 4 copies of Battle Sister Mocha, grade 2 intercept, 5k shield, 9k base. Auto, when she is ridden over, you may soul blast 1 to look at the top 2, put 1 into the hand, and put the remaining cards on top or bottom. So really nice that she can either put the cards on bottom or top, and granted it's a mandatory, you have to add one of them to hand, but she can soul blast herself for the skill to go off, and you can just start stacking triggers. So all around, good grade 2. And it continues rear or guard circle. If you have 3 or more units with Battle Sister and their different card names, it counts herself as well. This unit gets plus 5k power and 5k shield. And if you have 4 or more in your hand, this unit gets plus 5k power. Huh. Okay, I misread her skill before, but I still got it right. Because I originally thought it had to be 4 more different on rear. Apparently it's just 4 more in hand, which I've never dropped below whenever I've called Maka to my board, so I don't know why I'm questioning this. But yeah, that's pretty good, because that means if you have the 3, because it just counts yourself, and it's different units, so 3 in total. So your Vanguard's 1, this is 1, just get any other Battle Sister that isn't the Vanguard this, and then boom, you have your 3. She's a 19 as long as you have 4 hand cards and a 10k shield. All around, that's pretty good. She's very deadly, she's strong, she's definitely a card that helps me in a lot of matchups. In the matchups where I'm trying to go on the aggressive, she is not my most helpful card, because Macron tends to be the most helpful one, followed by Trifle. But in the games where I'm trying to outlast my opponent, Mocha is definitely my favorite grade 2 to use, because she definitely defends me a lot more than I need to. So 4 of Mocha, really good grade 2, definitely run her. Then move on to our grade 3s. 4 of the one that I question why they made, or at least skill-wise why they made it this way. Heretic Battle Sister Fromage Reverse. So I want to let this be clear. I misread it at first because I thought her name was originally Heroic Battle Sister, and I was like, that sounds kind of weird for a reverse card, but maybe they're doing what Golds would have done if they had a reverse. Or am I saying if Golds had a reverse? Golds did get a reverse. Anyways, they make it seem heroic, but no, it's called Heretic, and I just misread it. But I hate her skill because it doesn't feel like an upgrade. It just feels like a different ability. Grade 3 Twin Giant Protect Gift, 12k base. Continuous Vanguard. During your turn, for each of your lock cards, all your Battle Sisters get all your Battle Sisters units gets +5. Okay. So it's really good against Link Joker, and with her second skill, that's really good. Except, if you lock only one card, you're actually getting less power than you would on regular Fromage. Just saying. And then her other skill is Act Vanguard once per turn, counterblast 1, drop 1. Look at the same number of cards from top of your deck as the number of Battle Sister units with different card names. Put any number of them at the top of the deck and put the remaining on the bottom. Then lock 1 or more of your Battle Sister rear guards with different names. For each lock card, you may draw a card. Okay, I did not realize it specified different names, so I did end up fucking up in my Vanguard video. But, interesting. So it's a free plus, like, typically you lock the back row and your front row gets +15. Okay. Doesn't feel like you... Depending on what's in your front row, you would have bigger numbers than regular Fromage. But depending on depending on what's in your front row, you might actually have bigger numbers of Fromage. So plus sides. It's a 50-50 with who can bring a bigger number. It can get you more hand cards, and it can stack into different places. My thing is, I just think Fromage regular is all around better because it does the same thing, but it has 1 extra skill, and it doesn't involve you locking your board. So, take that as you will. For Reverse, she genuinely is good. Her name's cool, and I like how she just has a fucking minigun knife. But what's that called? It's something that starts with bayonet. There we go, bayonet minigun. But I don't know. Her skill just doesn't interest me. Either way, I know she's good. She is good. She's an amazing card. I have won so many games off her. She just doesn't feel good to me. So for Reverse, though, just I don't know how to explain it. I just don't like her. Then we have, in my opinion, the objectively better Battle Sister. Again, I'm aware they're both good in their own certain scenarios. I'm just saying. Battle Sister Fromage. Grade 3 turn jet protective, 12k base. Continues Vanguard during turn if your opponent's Vanguard's a grade 3 gritter. Or your Battle Sister units get +5 for the turn. During your turn. So, okay, they do similar things, except this one works whenever your opponent's Vanguard's grade is. This one only works when they're at grade 3, but okay. And do you work with any unit? Oh, no, it's just all Battle Sisters. And then Auto Vanguard Rear, when placed, you may counterblast 1 and Soul Blast 1 to draw a card, and if your Vanguard's a Battle Sister, you may draw another card. So if you rode her, it's just a counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, draw 2. If she's on Rear, I'll give you a hint. Every Norman is X a Battle Sister, so it's just still 2 draws. So that's pretty good. And then Act Vanguard once per turn. Discard 1, look at the same number of cards from the top of your deck as the number of Battle Sister units with different card names. Put each card you looked at the top or bottom of the deck in any order. So stack the top and bottom. Okay. I guess that's good. You can sack triggers a lot, and you can basically benefit yourself to a bunch of skills. I can definitely say for sure Fromage has won me so many games off that skill, and I've gotten so used to that, and maybe that's just why I don't like the reverse, because I've spammed Fromage so many times at this point, but I don't know. I don't think reverse is that much better. Like, it only comes down to a battle of power, and even then I think Fromage, like I said before, is better in more scenarios, but you know, I might be wrong, because they definitely do have their own strengths. I like both of them, though. I think they're both good grade 3s. Obviously, I like this one more, and I think this one's kind of meh. But for Fromage Reverse, it's just a good card, because it can work on Vanguard Rear. It does basically the same thing, except doesn't cost a Counterblast or Soul Blast, and it gets +5. So, all around good card, 4 of. Then we run our Protect Gifts, 4 Protect 1s, 4 Protect 2s. I just say 4 because why not? I mean, you're not going to spam make a bunch of gifts, but just in case. So, Protect 1, when acquired, it goes to hand. You may only place it on Guard Circle, Sentinel, and when it's placed on Guard Circle, discard 1, and one of you cannot be in the battle. Okay, this is typically what you use for your PGs. Like I said before, I'm like addicted to that feeling of not having the PG. It's really good feeling. It allows me to be a lot more liberated with what my skills are, and allows me to go ham and not have to feel like, oh, maybe I should keep this as discard fodder for later, or oh, maybe I should be more careful as, nah, screw logic, screw safety, throw caution to the wind, etc. So run this, just get your Protect Gifts, because typically this is the deck I can consistently ride every turn. Like, genuinely, because of all the deck stacking you do, I can consistently ride each turn. I think there's barely been, I've played so many games with this deck, or like Battle Sisters in general. I think there's been 4 games in total in my time span of playing Battle Sisters where I haven't been able to consistently ride. And that 2 of those are just me vaguely remembering games that I may have actually ridden and I just don't remember. And then 2 of them are actual examples where I know I didn't ride every turn. But still, Protect 1, easy Sentinel if that's what bothers you. And then Protect 2, when acquired, goes on a rear guard circle. The on, it gets +5 power and +10k shield when it intercepts. It stacks per, so if you have 2 of them on the same circle, +10 permanently during both players' turns, and 20k shield when it intercepts. So all around, I think Protect 1 is just better because you get more hand cards, so it's easier to get off effects like Tort, and not to mention the PG just helps save you. The PG just does help save you, and especially because Protect 2, you can always just get the rear guard murdered. Like, even on this thing where it's a 24k base, okay, with just one of them, okay, that's cool, but again, still can get murdered by effects. So 4 of Protect 1, 4 Protect 2, I just say Protect 1's better, but in the games where you want to go the aggressive, go Protect 2. And then Quick Shield, when one of you is attacked, it gets +5k for the battle. Nothing too much about. Standard 5k shield they use for discard of basically Fromage. And that's it for the deck. I hope you guys enjoyed. All around, I think the deck is good. It's strong. It's definitely really consistent. Like I said, you can basically ride every turn, getting a bunch of gifts, stacking up hand cards. Tort will eventually become your opponent's worst enemy if they manage to nuke your front row. You can get so many hand cards. You can foresee everything. You will sack every trigger possible. And then even when your opponent has counted all 16 triggers out of deck, you will somehow sack more triggers because your opponent will be like, fuck, I didn't count the ones that might not be in hand because you've drawn so much at this point. So, you know, the deck is just pretty good. Again, reverse, it's good in its own right. I do personally think the original is better, but that's just my opinion. And like I said, you can run the crit Sentinel in this deck if you want. You can run the drop PG, but I just suggest the crit Sentinel if you do run a Sentinel. Or you can be like me and be an adrenaline junkie with this deck. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, join Discord, follow Twitch, and I'll see you all next one. Don't forget to stand up your Vanguards.